Twitch, Twitter. No, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram. 4 tables. I wanted to do 5, but I didn't get to. Did I see a Carlincho video on YouTube? No, I did not. He said 9-handed under the gun with queen 10 suited was too loose to shove. What do you think? I have a free application. Check it out. It is the FTT Poker app. It will tell you which hands to shove with from all positions. It's completely free. It has accurate ranges. Queen 10 suited is probably close, but still a fold under the gun, 15 big blinds if I had to guess. Someone can look it up and let me know. You know what? I have a computer right here. I forgot I have a computer right here. Let me look it up. Floattheturn.com. I can go straight to my website and use it. And I go to Tools, Push Fold app. Enter my email address. jcard@me.com. This might be nice having a computer right next to me. Seems like it's not working at the second. Oh, there it goes. Okay, 15 big blinds. We are under the gun, presumably 9-handed. Actually, let's do under the gun 10-handed. With an ante, queen 10 suited is a shove. Look at that. With a 12.5% ante. With a 10% ante, it's still a shove. With no ante, it's an easy fold. So there's the answer to that. Why aren't fire trucks called water trucks? That's a very, very good question. I actually don't know the answer to that. They could be called many things, but they're not. All right, good. So I think we're live. It seems like no one is chatting to me, but that's fine. Good. Okay, we're finally doing it. We're up and running everywhere except for Twitter. If someone knows how to go live on Twitter from your desktop, please let me know because I can't seem to figure out how to do that. So I have 3 things to talk about today unless you all want to talk about other things. First one, Jay Nandez on Instagram posted something to the effect of, would you rather have 200K cash? That's pretty good. Free main event entries for life. Also pretty good. 1 year mentoring from a top pro. Or 1 month in the softest cash game ever. Okay. First, it depends on each person, right? There is definitely no clear answer because let's say you're 99 years old. Mentoring's not really going to be any good because you're going to die soon, presumably. 1 month in a soft cash game may be fun, but it's presumably you're going to use that to make money. Next, main event entries for life is useless because you're going to die soon. And then 200K is by far the most useful thing. So as you have less time, straight money becomes very, very valuable, right? That makes logical sense. And I think everyone would generally agree with that. Next, what if you already have plenty of money? Why is this not staying? Come on, device. There we go. That looks okay enough. I'm now using my coffee cup to balance the iPad. I'm going to take a photo of this complete makeshift operation we have. And we will, it's going to be a joke. You all are going to see it and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he was doing this. Okay. What would I take? I was sitting here thinking about this. I would think I would rather have 200K cash up front than main event entries for the rest of my life. You may say that sounds crazy because right now I'm 34. That means I have to play the main event each year until I'm 54 to break even for 200K. But if you double your money every 7 years, which is probably doable, you can do 200K to 600K to 800K over 20 years. And 800K is a lot. Clearly. So I think you'd rather have money straight up instead of 200K, even if like you don't value money that highly. Next, mentoring from the top pro. Ooh, what's that worth? Well, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you can probably buy mentoring from a top pro for less than 200K. A whole year worth of it. I mean, imagine you're going to pay them, let's say you're going to give them $2,000 a week times 52. That's only $100,000 a year, right? So you can get 4 or 5 hours each week from them for 200K. So, but for only 100K actually. So that doesn't seem like such a great value. So 1 year mentoring from a top pro, presuming you can't spend the money to use it otherwise for other things, that is something you probably don't want. Next, 1 month in the softest cash game. Now I'm going to presume you get to play exactly what stakes you want to play. And also, What does softest mean? The cash game Jay Nanda has shown had Phil Hellmuth, Jennifer Tilly, and a few other people. And that's not necessarily a soft cash game in my mind. It's soft, don't get me wrong, but it's not like the softest. The softest cash game is everyone just completely punting their money all the time. So what is that worth? Well, it depends on your bankroll. And realize if you only have 1 month, you can't really grind it that hard. So if you already have a lot of money and you don't mind investing all of your time in 1 month playing a really soft cash game where they're just completely punting, that's worth way more than $200K. But if you only have $50 to your name, you just can't run up that much money, even in a super soft cash game, unless they're literally handing it to you, right? So the correct answer, I think, for almost everyone, unless you're very, very old or plan on expiring soon, is going to be either 1 month in a soft cash game or $200K cash. And I think that those are really the only good answers. Shannon Shore, my best man at my wedding in Instagram. Welcome, welcome. We have a few questions on YouTube. Hello, you just lost Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em. It's a game changer. Let's get it. Here it is. Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em. It's a game changer. Check it out. It's a big book. Listen, I understand it's a big book. It's a lot of work. But it's well worth it if you actually want to get good at poker. Okay, next. We had a few questions come in. Mark says, he was in a situation the other day, three-handed, 2 small stacks, jam at 1-2. It's not a very good hand history. Okay. A small stack shoves, a second small stack with 10 big blinds calls, and you're the big blind with 18 big blind, playing a tournament with payout jumps. What do you call down with? Oh, that's a very, very broad question. We're not going to answer that. That's a math question. You can use a program called Equilab and ICMizer. Mainly ICMizer. You can use ICMizer to find the correct answer to that quickly and immediately. It's a math problem. We're not going to answer math problems here. I'll tell you how to answer the math problems. Go to ICMizer and check it out. jlpoker.com/ICM. Do I play any video games? The only video game I play is Magic the Gathering, and that's not really a video game. Any advice for bankroll management for satellites? Satellites are a very difficult game to succeed at. And you may say, why? Lots of people satellite into the tournaments. The problem, though, there are a few problems. We discussed this a million times at this point. But the problem with satellites is, let's say you're 1 in 8 to cash a 1 in 10 satellite. So you have an edge, right? You're going to win. We're 1 in 10. We're supposed to be 1 in 10, but we're actually 1 in 8, right? That's great. So we're winning. Now let's presume we break even in the tournaments. We're 1 in 8 to cash. We're going to cash 1 in 8 times. Good. How often are we actually going to get money back from that satellite? Well, the answer is 1 in 64 times. 8 times 8 is 64. So if we're only 1 in 64 to get any money back, that's going to cause a gigantic amount of variance. And then you have to understand you're not even going to win the tournament that often as well, right? Because you mainly get paid whenever you collect first, second, third place prizes. So now you're more like 1 in 600 or 1 in 6,000 to win, especially if you're satelliting into something like the World Series of Poker main event. So in terms of actually making money, you need a gigantic bankroll. And that is something most people don't have. Most people have no money and they play satellites because for some reason they think they need to be playing high stakes tournaments. And I kind of wonder why we decided that main events are $3,500 or $5,000 buy-in tournaments. Why is that what we're satelliting into? Why are we not satelliting into $500 tournaments? Why are we not satelliting into $100,000 tournaments, right? Be careful doing exactly what people tell you to do and what other people are doing, because that will often get you in a lot of trouble. Have I used Poker Cruncher? That seemed like a version of ICMizer that was not as good. So ICMizer, not ICMizer, Equilab. Equilab is a completely free program. You can Google Poker Strategy Equilab. It'll come right up, and it is a good program. Henderson said he won 1,425 big blinds last week after reading my book. Very good. You opened a savings account. Sweet. Is there a percentage to take out of your bankroll towards savings? I think whenever you are building your bankroll, you don't really need to save money. You need to take your time. You need to reinvest your money in your bankroll, and you need to grind it up. You need to take your time, play in games where you have a nice edge, and just keep it grinding up. You definitely need to get to 2.5 where you're paying less rake percentage-wise in terms of each pot. So I don't think it's necessary to like lock any up. I don't think you need to lock up any money unless there is value in locking up money for you. Maybe you'll just feel good if you bought in for $500 and you lock up your 500, so you know you're not down and you're just going to experiment with your other 925. So that's a difficult one. But I don't think you need to cash out. That's what it amounts to. Are poker solvers necessary? Depends on how good you want to be. How do I divvy up my time between poker, writing, and fatherly duties? I play poker now about a week and a half each month, which is not all that much. But when I do play, I try to play a lot. I try to put in a lot of volume in a short period of time. So in that week and a half, I might play, I don't know, 90 hours of poker or 100 hours of poker. And then when I'm home, I do writing and things like this and stuff like that. Fatherly duties. So I work 9 a.m. till 6 p.m., which is when my wife goes to work. She's a lawyer. And we have a nanny a few days a week, and we have my father-in-law who comes over and watches our baby during the daytime. So I get a solid eight or so hours of work each day, and I try to work each day. I don't goof off. A lot of people, whenever they have a job where they essentially can do whatever they want, they inevitably don't do their work. They goof off. They watch Hulu or Netflix, and they browse YouTube, and they don't get anything done. And that's not good. All right, let's answer some questions from Facebook. Hello to my cousin Priscilla. Welcome. Hello from Pensacola. Hello. That's where I'm from. Who entered the giveaway? We had a giveaway with Brad Owens the other day. A lot of people entered. How many buy-ins do I suggest for micro stakes sit and goes? Listen, bankroll management is a very, very big topic. We discussed this a few days ago here on A Little Coffee. By the way, I'll always do the show on Instagram, even when I'm traveling. I think that will be nice and easy to do, but it's kind of hard to carry this whole big setup. You all can't see it, but I can see it. And I don't know if it's going to work while I'm traveling, but I'll always do this on Instagram. So follow me there at JCardShark. Your bankroll depends on a few things: the variance in the game, your edge. Those are the two main things: your variance in the game and the edge, and how willing you are to go broke. Right? If you want to have no risk of ruin, meaning you never want to go broke, and you have a relatively small edge, then you need a humongous bankroll, like 500 buy-ins. If you don't mind going broke, say you're cool with going broke a lot, you just don't mind reloading and putting another $100 in there or something like this, then you can have 20 buy-ins. So it's not necessarily a question of how many do I need. It's more a question of what are the swings you're going to encounter, what is your edge, because as you have a bigger edge, you need a smaller bankroll, and how cool are you reloading. Do you ever get bored of poker? Yeah, sometimes. I think everyone gets bored of everything if they do it enough. Where did my mouse go? Okay, there we go. What is a good choice of game to start playing if you're new to poker? That's a tough one. I think cash games are probably the best way to grow a bankroll initially, assuming you don't have access to sit and goes. I think sit and goes are a great way to get a lot of experience playing lots of different stack sizes against a large number of players. It's going to give you a large diversity of skills. This is why you see a lot of the old school sit and go players doing well today. They found a game they could grind out a lot of money from, and they learned how to play final tables well, which is where a lot of the money is at stake. So that will give you a head start on that. Say we raise to $20 and 2.5, is that standard? I don't know. I mean, what does standard mean? You need to raise to an amount that is optimal for your game. Seems like $15, you're getting multi-way way too often, and you're getting called by garbage. Well, is it bad to get called by garbage? A lot of people think that you really don't want to get called by garbage. But if you think about it, the garbage is giving you equity. Let's say you raise with aces and 6 people call you. Maybe you're going to win this hand 50% of the time now. And a lot of people are not cool winning it only 50% of the time. But realize you put in 1/6 of the money, and you're getting back 1/2 of the money. So you're extracting value from every person who called, and that is going to be hugely beneficial for you. So don't be afraid of seeing the flop very multi-way. However, you do have to understand that when you do see a flop multi-way, you need to make sure you're not blindly paying off your opponents, right? If you have aces and you raise and 6 people call and it comes 9-8-4, if you bet and someone raises and someone calls, you're done. You're folding, right? And that's okay. You lost. That's one of those times where you're not going to get paid. You need to make sure you're not just blindly paying off everyone. John says, is it okay to practice for play money because you don't have a casino around you and you believe that online poker is rigged? Well, Fortunately, your beliefs are irrelevant. Online poker is not rigged. And what I suggest you do, if you have no other options, there are no regulated poker sites where you play or where you live, I would put something like $50 in an unregulated site. You're probably going to lose that money. All the sites that are unregulated, that accept Americans, are going to close eventually. Okay, we know this. So I would put $50 in there and play. I promise you, no one is rigging the game against you, especially when you're playing for $5 buy-in. That is a ridiculous thought. So treat it like you're going to the movies, right? You go to the movie, you have fun, you don't get your 20 bucks back, right? Put your $50 online, play tiny stakes. That way you're playing against people who are playing as if it is for real money. When you're playing for play money, no one's really treating it like it's for real, and therefore it's not very good practice. So I definitely think you need to figure out a way to play for real money. You could also just make a home game, right? You can play with your friends where you all buy in for little to no money. Can you watch the stream later? It'll definitely be on Instagram for an hour. I don't know about these other places. Hopefully this saves to YouTube. I'd be shocked if it doesn't save to YouTube. William says, can I give you an opinion on a hand? I guess so, sure. Which platform is best for starters? I guess you mean which site? I would probably tell you to play on a site like Party Poker or PokerStars if that's available. What's the best pizza in New York City? My favorite is a place called Giuliana's. All right, we're having a little history lesson. A guy named Patsy Grimaldi, you maybe have heard of Grimaldi's Pizza, opened Grimaldi's Pizza a long time ago in Brooklyn Heights, right across the Brooklyn Bridge. It was a great place. Eventually, he decided to franchise it out. Fine. They franchise it out. He decides to retire. But then he decides he wants to get back in the pizza business. And he wants to have his own place, but he can't use the name Grimaldi's because he licensed it out. So what does he do? Well, he opens a place called Giuliana's. Opened, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. And it's right across the Brooklyn Bridge, right next door to Grimaldi's, the original one. And it's way better because Grimaldi's is a chain, and it's kind of, chains inevitably go downhill. But still, you can go there. You can be Patsy Grimaldi will cook you pizza. He'll bring it out to you. He will talk to you. You'll have fun. And the pizza's amazing. So Giuliana's is my choice. And the pizza's amazing. So Giuliana's is my choice. D-Nice says, you have day 2 at 9 p.m. 69 players remain. Any advice? You have a top 10 stack and really want to close it out. I mean, just play well. You have to understand, whenever you make it through a day, what changes when you come back the next day? And the answer is nothing. It's like saying going from level 7 to level 8, do I have any advice? No, it's the same game. The game is essentially the same. Understand that 69 left, you're in good shape, but you can't really do anything about it. You just have to go there and play your absolute best. Best cheesesteak in Philly. I do not know about Philadelphia cheesesteaks. I've only had Philadelphia cheesesteaks one time in Philadelphia. We flew in from, I want to say Miami. I was with Jack Schonbacher and Christian Harder. And we all had a lot to drink on the airplane. I lost a bunch of money playing gambling games. And then we decided to go to there's 2 Philly cheesesteak places in Philadelphia. So we flew into Philadelphia, took a limo to the 2 Philadelphia cheesesteak places, had Philly cheesesteaks from both of them, and then we went to Borgata. That was a lot of fun. The good old days. Why don't I play live poker on Twitch? I don't think they like you filming live poker whenever you're playing live poker. Andy says, you're really frustrated at the moment. You see lots of players making mistakes. You recognize them, but you don't seem to be making much progress. Andy, I just had a coaching session with someone yesterday, and they had the same issue. They were winning after reading my book. There it is, Mastering Small Stakes and Limit Hold'em. But then they decided to try to be more game theory optimal. They wanted to run bluffs. The first thing this guy said in his notes to me was, my bluffs seem to not be working very often at all against these players. I think I'm playing good, solid GTO poker. Why am I not winning so much? And the answer is, you need to maximally exploit your bad opponents. If your opponents literally never fold, don't bluff. That's easy. Sit there and play good cards. I was just editing Alex Fitzgerald's newest book that's coming out soon. And he talked about how early in his career, he would just sit there and play literally aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens, and ace king. And that's it. And he won. He won all the money because his opponents were awful. At what point in my career did I decide to be a full-time pro? I never really decided to be a full-time pro. It was more of I was winning about $15,000 per month playing online, and I was going to college to get a job that may pay me $50,000 a year. And I had about $100,000 at that point. I was working a $10 an hour job, going to college. And I decided to quit college, understanding that if I needed to go back to college, I would have plenty of money. I made sure I had a year of living expenses set aside. I showed my parents, I was only 18 or 19 at the time. I showed my parents my results from the previous months, 6 or 8 months that showed I was winning that amount of money each month. And how can you say no whenever someone presents you very clear results saying they are definitively a winner and they're crushing the games at the moment? So that's how we did it. D. Nelson says, it sounds really boring to play only aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens, and ace king. Yeah, but we don't care about being entertained. We care about making money. Right? At the end of the day, you have to decide why you're playing. I have a few articles about this. There are 3 reasons people play games. People play games to have a social, entertaining environment. Maybe that's what D. Nelson's doing. We have players who try to do fun things in the game. They want to be very creative. They want to run insane bluffs. They want to make big folds, right? That's another type of player. Then we have players who want to win. They don't really care about being entertained. They don't really care about running cool plays. They want to win. And I think to succeed at the highest stakes games, you want to win. I was just listening to Daniel Negreanu's podcast, that Poker Podcast, DAT. Just came out the Poker Masters final tables because there's a bunch of robots who don't talk to each other who are playing solid GTO poker, and it's not that exciting. Yeah, well, they're trying to win money. They're buying in for $100,000. You can't expect them to sit there and entertain you. It's not their job to entertain you. It's their job to play great poker. And you have to understand that. So anyway, back to Andy's question. If people are making lots of mistakes, figure out what they're doing wrong and then exploit it. And in small stakes games, usually people just call too much and they don't fold very often. So if they call too much and they don't fold very often, stop bluffing. Play the top 10% of hands. I'm not going to say play only 10s or better in ace king. Play, all pairs to set line. Play good suited connectors. Play strong big cards. Push your equities pre-flop. And that's it. What's a good win rate at micro stakes? I don't know. Google that. I'm sure Google can tell you. All right. Chi says, you're going to play 25-cent, 50-cent home game, which is softer than your usual 5-cent, 10-cent online game. Is it okay to give up small edges to decrease variance because you only have 6 to 8 buy-ins? Just play good, solid, tight, aggressive poker. That's what I would tell you. Also realize that live poker is going to be a little bit different than online poker because online, even at 5-cent, 10-cent, people play decently well. Whereas live 5-cent, 10-cent, it's probably going to be a joke. You think playing 2-5, you can make a good amount of money? You can make about $50 an hour. So it's $50 an hour, good money. That is actually what I teach most of my students who come to me saying, I want to be able to make money from poker. What do? I teach them to beat 2-5 no limit for about $50 an hour. That is almost like my bread and butter at this point. People come to me, I take them from being losing or break even 1-2 players and make them $50 an hour winners at 2-5. And that's great for most people. You have to understand, most people in the world would be thrilled to make $50 an hour. Now, understand that $50 an hour is not actually a great win rate if you think about the utility of the money, the time you have to spend, and the perks you do not get as being a poker player. So when you're a poker player, you have no retirement account, you have no insurance, you have no company perks. If anything, you have like negative perks. You have to sit in a chair all day, and you may have to play at inopportune times, et cetera, et cetera. So understand that maybe you're actually making $30 per hour real world money. But even then, like whenever I was a kid, I started with $50, right? If you told me I could make $50 an hour, I'd be thrilled as can be. Hi from Greece. Will you start a bankroll challenge? Oh, I did a bankroll challenge a long, long time ago. 6 or 8 years ago at this point. It was called the Bankroll Builder Challenge, or Bankroll Builder Series. I was going to turn $300, 30 buy-ins, at 5-cent, 10-cent into however much I did. But I got bored because I was only playing 1 hour a week and it was boring. I did not want to devote my life to grinding up a bankroll because I already did that. I don't need to do that in my life. I don't need to prove to everyone I can do it because I've already done it. There's no purpose for me. I don't have infinite time, so I don't want to give it away doing something I don't want to do. It's very important to realize that time is your most valuable resource. So make sure you're using it for things that matter. Like right here. I had to ask myself, is it worth it to wake up in the morning at 9 a.m. every day, Monday to Friday, to talk to all of you? I don't know how many people are here. Call it 100 people. We're talking to 100 people. Is it worth giving away 30 minutes or an hour of my life to help 100 people? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. Now, you may say, well, I could do the bankroll builder thing and stream it and play it and all this business, but I don't really want to do that. It's not fun. It's not fun to me. I'd rather talk and answer questions because that's where I provide value. There are lots of people who can grind the micro stakes who do not actually have a lot of the knowledge in my head like I have. So I'm using my skills in ways that I think are better. You think being balanced? We already discussed being balanced as a dad. Basically, compartmentalize your life so that your poker time is your poker time. Your spouse has a difficult time with you playing and studying poker. Have you had this experience? No, my wife has always known I'm a poker player. My parents, like I was saying earlier, they were cool with me spending my time doing this because I was winning significant money. People have a problem whenever you spend your time doing things that are frivolous, that lose money, and are not productive. So you need to make sure that you have proven to yourself that this is a beneficial thing for you and your life. So how do you do that? You need to prove it to them. You need to show your results, show that you are a winning poker player, or show that, you are studying from people who are winners and that you're going to devote X amount of time to this, which may be, 100 hours, 1,000 hours, who knows? And hopefully they'll be cool with it, or maybe they won't. But everyone does need a hobby. You just need to make sure you're not lighting money on fire with your hobby. But understand, like, say you have a boat and you go fishing. That's expensive and costly, and it's kind of like lighting money on fire. So understand that hobbies are required to be a human for the most part. And make sure your hobby is as productive as it realistically can be. Do you think exploitive poker is just as good as GTO or maybe even better? Listen, I think you need to play good poker. Everyone thinks they have to choose sides. I think this is something in the world now. Maybe this has always been the case. People want to be on a team. Listen, teams are silly. You need to play good poker. So what does that mean? Well, if you're playing against the best players in the world, you better be GTO. Otherwise, you're going to lose all of your money quickly. If you are playing against awful players, it would be a gigantic mistake to play GTO because your opponents are doing things that are horrifically wrong. So just play well. I do think it's important to understand solid baselines and understand fundamentally sound poker, because that is where you revert to when you don't know what your opponents do wrong, right? Like, say we show up at a table and everyone looks like they are competent, but we don't know for sure. You should probably assume they play competently enough, and you need to play fundamentally sound poker. If you show up, though, and everyone looks like they're amateurs, you should be able to tell this. You will get experience and you will be able to tell this. You should probably just start exploiting them right off the bat, because you're exploiting player pool tendencies. Like, say you think at 1-2 no limit, everyone's a calling station, let's just pretend. Well, start 3-betting more of the linear range right off the bat, and start value betting thinner right off the bat, and start bluffing less often right off the bat, and see how it goes. How should you play against players who don't play GTO then? You maximally exploit them. I have a book coming out soon. Well, D&D Poker does. I've been editing it. It's called Modern Poker Theory, Michael Acevedo. Michael Acevedo, perhaps the best GTO poker player in the world. He has a few videos on the Poker backing site that I'm a part owner of, where he does not play with a HUD, just plays straight GTO and high-stakes tournaments, and he crushes it. There are a few videos where he just wins the tournaments playing GTO in his mind, which he knows it better than anyone in the world, I promise you. And he just recently took, I think, second or third in some scoop event for piles of money, and all he does is study poker. It's like he never plays, but when he does play, he crushes it. It's incredible. That comes out probably next year at some point. He's being slow writing it because he's busy crushing poker. Do I have a class for beginners? Just check out pokercoaching.com. Some people say range is more important than math. Well, ranges are based on math, so I'm not exactly sure what you're saying. What I would suggest everyone do, if they don't understand poker, get this book, Mastering Small Stakes, No Limit Hold'em. jlpoker.com/mastering. If it looks like I'm not looking at your camera, by the way, I have 3 cameras. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that's how it has to work today. But yeah, so when people have mistakes in their games, you need to adjust to take advantage of whatever that mistake is. So if someone bluffs too much, you need to call them in time. If someone never bluffs, you need to make huge folds. That's just good poker. And that's not playing GTO, that's playing maximally exploitative. Let's say you know someone plays very close to right. Or let's say you know someone plays well, but you don't know the mistakes they're going to make, which is often the case in high stakes games. Like, I am very confident that I have holes in my game. I'm kind of confident they're minimal, and they're going to be very hard to pinpoint if you don't have a big sample size on me. So if someone just plays perfect GTO against me, they're going to beat me because I don't play perfect GTO. No human does yet. And that's it. So if you don't know what your opponents do wrong, you want to play as close to GTO as you can. But once you see they do something wrong, you can exploit it. All right. When I show my results to my parents, how did I approach the problem with friends? All my friends played games, and I didn't really care about friends so much back in the day. In their eyes, poker is not a job. It gets annoying talking to them about it. Well, what I did is I holed myself up in my office, and I made friends on the internet, like all of you, and I talked to them. Those are the only people I talked to for 3 years. It may sound a little bit lame, but my only friends were Magic the Gathering players, who I played games with, who thought poker was cool. No one who plays other games thinks poker's lame. And that's it. Like, I did not have much of a social life. I didn't hang out with any of my high school friends because, I mean, to be honest, most of them weren't doing a whole lot with themselves. How important are solvers? We already answered this. They are very important. How do you improve your game? Check out pokercoaching.com and that book I just showed everyone. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Is there any point in playing micro stakes? If you want to get good at poker and you want to practice, that's a great thing to do. Whenever you have no money, you have to understand, your goal is not necessarily to win money. Your goal is to get good. This often implies not playing a lot of tables at a time. It implies studying a lot, and it implies getting experience cheaply. Because imagine you could play lots of small stakes tournaments and get good over the course of 3 months, and it's impossible for you to lose money or lose significant money because you're only playing, 10-cent buy-in tournaments. Most you can lose is like $50. That's great. It's like a free roll. You get to free roll getting experience, and that's very, very beneficial. Don't think you just have to jump into high stakes games. What is my play to study ratio? Well, like I said, I play about probably 80 hours a month when I'm traveling for about a week or a week and a half. And then I study a lot when I'm home. I mean, every day I'm watching training videos from some of the best players. And I have people, I outsource a lot of work. Like, for example, for the Poker Masters, I outsource people to go through all the hand histories for me and send me the relevant hand histories that are interesting. And that's just, using the resources I have to save time. Because again, time is one of the most precious resources. D. Nelson says, worrying about his social life was one of the big problems for him to start. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people care what other people think. I don't really care what people think too much. Because really, it doesn't matter. Okay. I think we'll pack it up in about 2 or 3 minutes because I have an appointment. What's the greatest source of study material? What was my greatest source? My greatest source was a program called Sit and Go Power Tools. It's now defunct. You have to understand, that came up a long time ago. A lot of people don't quite understand how long poker's been around. And I'm not saying I'm even old or I've been around for a while, but there was a program called Sit and Go Power Tools, which was basically a really easy version of ICMizer. I played Sit and Goes, and if I played Sit and Goes today, I'd be grinding ICMizer like crazy. ICMizer actually has a testing feature. I think it's called Sit and Go Coach or something like that, where you can see how properly you were push folding. And I played it for like 1,000 hands or something like this, and it said I was the number 2 push folder for Sit and Goes. So it all stuck. When you do it enough, you just know it, and that's good. But they rank you based on how correctly you do. And sick brag, number 2. But I haven't played it in quite a while. But it's one of those things where if you study it a lot, you just know it. Like with equities, right? The other day, a student came to me. He had 7-3 of clubs. Someone limped. Went limp, 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 limp. He limped small blind, 7-3 of clubs, which is probably fine. I told him he could raise, but it's probably fine. Big blind checks, it comes 10-9-3, or 10-9-7. 10-9-7, 2 clubs. He checked. Someone bet 4 times pot, big bet. Someone else called for basically their whole stack. And then my guy decided to go all in. And I said that was a huge mistake. He said, but why? I have a pair and a flush draw. Pair and flush draws are great, right? Well, they are. However, there's a big problem with pairs and flush draws here. And that is that your pair is often dominated. So if you get a 3, you may not even be good. If a 3 or a 7 if you're against set or straight. And your flush draw is going to be dominated sometimes. So in that spot, I knew off the top of my head you have like 27 or 28% equity. He thought, though, he had like 40% equity and made a huge blunder. And then he asked, well, what if I had ace-7 of clubs instead for the nut flush draw instead? Then you're definitely all in. And sure enough, we ran the numbers. Then you do have 40%. Because the ace is going to be better way more often than the 3, or it's going to be live more often than the 3, and you're going to dominate some draws. So it's like, how do I know this? I didn't have to think about it, right? You know it because you study it ahead of time. You observe situations, and you try to figure out spots. You just try to figure out what is optimal in a lot of situations. All right, Dante says, how would I compare the Excelling at No Limit Hold'em book to Small Stakes? Excelling at No Limit Hold'em, it's right back there. I'll pull it down. Why not? Oh, I'm knocking off all of my stuff. Excelling at No Limit Hold'em, everyone can see this, I think, has chapters by lots and lots of poker pros. As you see their faces. These are all people who are experts at particular things. And I wanted them to write about their area of expertise. Like, for example, we have Olivier Bousquet there in the top corner. Not the giant picture of me, the other one. He's a very good heads-up player. So I had him write on Heads Up No Limit Hold'em. It's like, what more do you want in life? You have the best players in the world in their particular game writing about their area of expertise. That is what this book is. This is certainly not a clear guide of how to play poker. It's more of thoughts from some of the best players in the world on their areas of expertise. Definitely not a beginner book, that's for sure. Tony says, you missed the push-fold practice website. Oh, Tony, you'd be happy to know that ICMizer has that already. And on my free poker app, FTT Poker, you can find it in the app stores. It has a push-fold quiz. It's a timed quiz or a non-timed quiz. You can do all sorts of stuff. There used to be a push-fold quiz a long time ago. You had to pay like $30 a month to use or something. I was a member. Everyone good was a member. And now it's completely free because I don't think you need to pay for things that are simple, like push-fold calculations. I think that's silly. How old am I? I am 34. 33, 34, one of those. I was born December 1984. I don't really keep track of age for some reason. All right, I'm going to go. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'm going to try to figure out how to go live on Twitter. We're not live on Twitter today, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I have one more device. I'll just show everyone. Here's one of the devices. As you can see, I don't know which one is this. This is Instagram. This is the setup here. We have a camera. We have another camera. We have a computer. It's a heck of a setup. How long have I been playing? Since I was 18. 18 to 35 is about 15 years. It's a good old day. The good old days. But yeah, I'm going to do this every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. There may be times when I'm traveling where I may have to reschedule it, but that's it. Can you stream on Twitch? I am streaming this on Twitch today. Twitch is this camera right here. I should include the word IG in the name. It's hard for people on YouTube to find me. Interesting. My YouTube is youtube.com/floattheturn. There are all sorts of videos there. I post tons and tons of videos to YouTube. And it's a good thing. Am I going to have no more kids? No. Manhattan real estate's expensive. Why do I coach people? Because whenever I first started, I was helped out by a lot of people. Without the help of people who freely gave to me, I would definitely not be where I am today, and I appreciate them. And I believe in paying it forward. I have a lot of older friends who are really, really good at business, who I've just met through poker. A lot of them have hired me to coach them, and it turns out they've become mentors for me. You may ask, why in the world would they be willing to meet with me and hang out? Maybe they like talking about poker sometimes, but also they believe in paying it forward, right? I mean, everyone wants to help people who want to better themselves in life. And I want to better people. I want to help people who want to better themselves. And instead of making them wade through all of the crap that I waded through, these are only my good books. There's a lot of bad books that I've thrown away. I want to consolidate information. I want to make life as easy for them as I can, because people who are dedicated, who study, who want to do good, I want to help them do well. What's my Twitch username? Jonathan Little. Twitch.tv/Jonathan Lowe. Although I really don't stream very much. But we're going to do a little coffee on there each day if I can make this work. All right. That's it. We're packing it up. I have to go. Have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. Be nice to someone. Have fun. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Now I'm ending all the streams. How do I end on YouTube? Hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. How do we end over here? I'm new to this. Oh, end stream. Bye-bye.